Well, hey there. I have not made a comic book review since I reviewed X Factor, I think number 15 and 5, talking about when Angel became Archangel, which was important reading. I've read maybe 4 or 5 X-Men since then. This is X-Cutioner Song Part 1 through Part 6 review. So if you want to read this, obviously spoilers ahead. I tell you now at the beginning of the video, and let's get right into it. So again, we just read 6 of them, so I might be hazy on some things, but let's just get the important things going first. So part 1, just like the cover shows, Cable blows up Professor X. So that obviously sets everything into motion. There are 3 different X-Men things going on. There's Uncanny X-Men, X-Force, X-Men, and X-Factor, technically, right? So there's 4 groups. It's really 3. It's really X-Force, X-Factor, and X-Men, right? And all of them are upset about this happening in different ways. He is part of X-Force, so when that happens, you know, everybody's upset, but X-Force is like, well, hold on, we gotta know why Cable did it, right? So that's what you get in part 2. Let's show part 2's cover. We're just gonna re-show covers today. That's what you get in part 2, is really everybody making a plan, and X-Force being like, well, why did it happen? Part 3 and part 4, you kind of have some fighting going on between them, right? But you also have a side plot which is very important. Mr. Sinister, I knew him because of Contest of Champions. It used to be my knowledge for a lot of characters. But he's the dude with the black cape, and he kind of throws up like that, right? Kind of looks like Dracula, but evil. He sets into motion stealing Jean Grey and Cyclops from these people using this fat dude. What's the fat dude's name? Caliban. Caliban goes, basically kidnaps Jean Grey and Cyclops. That's huge because Jean Grey, obviously one of the most powerful X-Men, and then Cyclops is the leader of the X-Men. So there are other leaders, right? With Havoc, he basically tries to take over and lead. He's not doing a great job. Okay, I'm only 6 parts in. I'm giving you a 6-part review. I don't know how this ends, but I will tell you, Havoc, not as great of a leader as Cyclops. So when you're reading through this, you literally feel like a shifting of all these different characters not having any leadership, which leads to part 5, where Wolverine and Bishop go on their own to try to figure out where Apocalypse is. Why are we looking for Apocalypse? Because Mr. Sinister sent them, right, Jean Grey and Cyclops, to Apocalypse. Okay? Sent them, no, oh my gosh. Stay with me, folks. Sent them to Strife. Strife is the big bad guy. Let's see if we can find a picture of bro, because he's not on any of these covers. Alright, send him to Strife. Here's Strife right here. Strife. He's the big bad guy so far, right? There is Apocalypse in here. Sinister's kind of side character, but it's really Apocalypse and Strife. Apocalypse is kind of getting framed for this. Cable's also getting framed for this, we learned that back in issue 3, because he's talking to Professor. Now, he's in the future at this time, right? And what he finds out is that he shot Professor X. Now, that makes him think, what? I didn't shoot him. No way I shot him. So this leads to, in part 5, when they're making another plan, because their first plan kind of screwed up, right? All the X-Men together. In part 5, they have to go and say, wait a minute, Strife might be Cable. Like, he might be the same dude under the mask, right? So now they know that Strife is Cable. But who doesn't know is these guys. That's why part 6 looks like this, and they're fighting Cable. They went on a side mission to figure out if it's really Cable, but didn't say with the team, because both of them are just go and freaking kill, just be whatever, you know, it's Wolverine. I mean, come on now, right? This leads to them now fighting with Cable, but he is starting to tell them, and at the very end of 6, he tells them it's not me, and Wolverine finally believes him. Bishop doesn't. Bishop almost blows his head off. Luckily, he uses like little laser yellow eye thing, right, to blow up the gun, and Wolverine's like, dude, let's listen to him. I think we got to hear him out. So luckily, they got to hear him out. But right now, Strife is framing Apocalypse by using Mr. Sinister to frame Apocalypse. So he's the mastermind of everything. But Apocalypse is still really bad and still whooping people because he's Apocalypse. He's crazy. You know, here he is right here. Looks like he's getting beat up. Not what happens in part 5. Part 5, he's whooping their butt. okay? And Jean Grey and Cyclops, again, throughout these whole 6 parts, as much as this one wants to act like Cyclops is over here doing crazy stuff, no. No, Cyclops and Jean Grey completely out of it so far. So there's 6 parts left. They don't have Jean Grey and Cyclops. Now, mind you, they still got some pretty cool, good people. Storm, Colossus, obviously, Beast. We got Wolverine. But man, they're up against it right now. And I guess I'm talking to you, putting like in my mind what I'm expecting from the next 6. So let's get into that part next. That's kind of just a review of what has happened, right? Oh, and X-Force, they are still very upset with, and they haven't been not upset with them. They put them into, like, mutant jail inside the X-Mansion, right? The X-School, whatever. And so they are letting them out now to fight with them, but they're still very mad at them and say they've committed illegal things, even though, again, Cable didn't actually do it. They just think he did. He's getting framed. What I think happens in part 7 through 12. Well, we're only going to review part 7, 8, 9 tomorrow, and then probably 10, 11, 12 the next day, because I got to work the next 2 nights, so I can't read 6 tomorrow. I've been reading these for the last 2.5 hours, so that means that I want to only read for an hour and a half tomorrow, so I'm going to read 7, 8, 9. So what do I expect from 7, 8, 9? Hopefully expecting Cyclops and Jean Grey to be able to start to get out. Cyclops did go crazy with his eyes and stuff, right? But he accidentally hurt a bunch of kids in Jean Grey. Strife is mind controlling. He is the crazy perpetrator of everything. Excuse me. As much as Apocalypse wants to be, he even mentions, I would never let somebody be above me. I'm the master manipulator. Well, right now, Strife is definitely the master manipulator, right? Whenever you're reading an X-Men comic, you have to know who is the top chain of bad guy in the moment. Early on, it's Magneto, and then it becomes Apocalypse. And at this red-hot moment, it is Strife. Do I think Strife's going to be revealed to be Cable? Not yet. I think that would be in the last 3 for the final review. I don't think that's going to be revealed yet. I think 7, 8, 9 is going to be continued, amped up stuff to that. I think they're going to probably defeat Mr. Sinister during it, and I think they're going to be fighting Apocalypse. They're fighting the wrong battle, but that's because they can't get to Strife yet. Strife will be fought in the final 3. I think that's what happens, but I do think Cyclops and Jean Grey will find their way out, probably in part 9, meaning 10, 11, and 12 will be the climactic everything, throw it at the wall. Right now, honestly, a lot of this, outside of maybe like part 3 had some really important building. Part 4 was kind of cool when they were fighting each other. Other than that, this has really just been a giant plot buildup, but it's done pretty well. Part 1 and 2 are kind of confusing at times. Part of that's my fault. I didn't know about X-Force really, so like I don't know these characters, you know what I mean, as well as I do the other characters. And I only know Cable because I read his limited series, which came out like a couple months before the X-cutioners song started, which means I know something that you guys don't know, but I can't say it yet because we haven't gotten there yet. So, but if you read those in order, you would know. But I don't know if this is telling a different story, so I'm not going to give you information because you know how Marvel works, and it works back then like it is right now, where there's all these different branching futures and pasts and, whatever. That's literally why there's an X-Men called Days of Future Past, because that stuff happens in X-Men. So I'm not going to say what I really, really think, because again, it could be a lie, it could be, diversion and whatever. A lot of good people working on this though. So that is my part 1 through 6 review. I would give, let's give a review on the first 6. I'll give 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Actually, 6.5. Seems like I'm not even a fan. I wish there was more here. I do like the action, don't get me wrong. One of my favorite things about X-Men, though, is kind of what it's trying to tell, the deeper story, political nuance and all that, which it is very politically, all that. It is. I love when people are like, oh, comics or Marvel is now political. Guys, X-Men, very political. But I will tell you, the fighting and stuff is pretty cool in here, but I guess I want a deeper meaning to be said. So what I'm hoping for part 7, 8, 9 is that I can give it like a 9 out of 10 because it's great storytelling and everything. This has been really a lot of build up, so I don't know what I expected, something crazy, but yeah. Part 1 through 6, X-cutioners song. We're going to give it 6.5 out of 10. Would I recommend to read? Yes, for now. I don't know how it ends, so I would say sure, but like any good movie, TV show, or comic, you want it to end right. So be back tomorrow for part 7, 8, 9 of X-cutioners song. I'll see you there. Peace.